a 21-year-old from a town of fewer than 2,000 people, just ran 6.41 seconds in the 60 meters. That makes him the fourth fastest human ever at that distance. He did it in his very first international meet. He did it with a hematoma the size of a soccer ball, restricting his arm swing. Jordan Anthony just proved he is the fastest man alive. Jordan Anthony was born on June 29, 2004, in Tylertown, Mississippi, a town where Friday nights meant football, and track was just something kids did to stay in shape. His dream was not a sprint gold medal. His dream was the Heisman Trophy. He was a four-star football recruit, one of the top 12 athletes in the entire state of Mississippi, and he signed with the University of Kentucky as a wide receiver. Track was not the plan. He started running to improve his footwork. He did it for fun. He did it to network. He did not do it because he thought one day he would become the fastest man alive. But something happened. He kept getting faster. He fractured his hip in 2021. That kind of injury ends most athletes. Anthony came back. He transferred from Kentucky to Texas A&M, then to Arkansas. 3 schools, and at every stop, the clock kept dropping. At Arkansas, he was not just a sprinter. He was also catching passes in real football games. 8 receptions, 111 yards, 1 touchdown in the 2024 season. Playing 2 sports at the same time at a high level. Before the 2024 to 2025 season, he walked away from football. No more receiver routes. No more game film. His first full year focused entirely on sprinting produced results. Nobody expected this fast. He won the 2025 NCAA Indoor Championship in the 60 meters. Then, he won the 2025 NCAA Outdoor Championship in the 100 meters, running out of the outside lane, the worst position in the race, and winning by just 0.03 seconds. He became the first sprinter since 2017 to win both the indoor and outdoor NCAA titles in the same season. Then he won the Bowerman Award. That is the highest individual honor in American college track and field, the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy for sprinters. His speech said everything. He stood at the podium and said, "A football player winning the Bowerman. That is crazy." He signed with Adidas. He turned professional. He moved to Claremont, Florida to train at the Pure Athletics Group. His professional season started on February 1, 2026, at the Millrose Games in New York. He finished 3rd. People immediately said he had already lost his edge, that he could not handle the professional level, that the college version of Jordan Anthony was gone. He used that as fuel. 13 days later, on February 13, 2026, at the Tyson Invitational in Fayetteville, Arkansas, Anthony stepped into the blocks and ran 6.43 seconds. That was the fastest 60-meter time in the entire world at that point in 2026. It also tied him for 9th on the all-time list, from being counted out to world leader in less than 2 weeks. Now remember that training partner, because the next part of this story is where things get real. Noah Lyles is not just a fast guy. He is the reigning Olympic 100-meter gold medalist from the 2024 Paris Games. He holds the American record in the 200 meters at 19.31 seconds. He has 4 world titles in the 200 meters. He is the loudest, most dominant, and most entertaining sprinter on the planet. Before the USAF Indoor Championships on March 1, 2026, Lyles had not competed at that meet in over 9 years. His last appearance was 2018 in Albuquerque, where he finished 9th. So when he walked into the Ocean Breeze Athletic Complex in Staten Island, New York, he came with a message. He told reporters that anyone who thought he was letting that championship belt go somewhere else simply did not know Noah Lyles. He said he was going all out from the very start of the season. The gun fired. Anthony exploded out of the blocks. He crossed the line in 6.45 seconds. Trayvon Bromell finished 2nd in 6.47. Noah Lyles, the Olympic champion, finished 3rd in 6.51. After the race, Lyles personally handed Anthony the championship belt. Anthony stepped to the microphone and said exactly what a 21-year-old who just beat the Olympic champion should say. He said, "I looked to my right and my left and I was like, I do not hear Noah. I do not see Trayvon. GG's in the chat. New generation is taking over. Today was the day I had to give them their eviction notice. Then he called Lyles old on national television. At 21 years old. No hesitation. But beating the Olympic champion at a national meet was only the appetizer. The main event was still coming. And it happened somewhere Anthony had never been before in his entire life. March 20th, 2026. Torun, Poland. The World Athletics Indoor Championships. The most important indoor meet on the planet. And this was Jordan Anthony's first time ever leaving the United States. No overseas meets. No passport stamps. Nothing. Before he could even think about the race, something went wrong. During his doping control test, the officer missed the vein on his left arm. The blood clotted. The hematoma swelled to the size of a soccer ball. He could not fully twist or extend his arm. In sprinting, arm swing creates explosive power. Anthony was about to run the 3 most important races of his life with that restriction. A 19-year-old just ran the fastest 1,500 meters ever recorded on Australian soil. He beat a world indoor bronze medalist by nearly 5 seconds. He beat a Commonwealth champion by almost 3 seconds. Then the very next night he came back and won the 5,000 meters too. This is not potential. This is not hype. This is Cameron Myers, and what he just did has never been done before. At age 10, Cameron Myers ran his first national cross-country race and finished 17th. After that race, he told people around him he hated losing so much that he was never going to let it happen again. 2 years later, at age 12, he won his first national title. By 15, his 1,500-meter personal best was 3 minutes 46 seconds. Most junior athletes his age were dreaming of breaking the 4-minute barrier. Myers was already 14 seconds faster than that. Then came 2023. Myers was 16 years and 259 days old when he stood on the track at the Maury Plant meet in Melbourne and ran 3 minutes 55 seconds for the mile. That made him the second youngest person in history to break 4 minutes for the mile. The only younger person to ever do it was Jakob Ingebrigtsen. But here is the part that most people miss. Myers did not just match Ingebrigtsen's teenage milestone. He broke Ingebrigtsen's world record for 16-year-olds. His time was faster than Jakob's had been at the exact same age. And that was just the start. In March 2024, Myers ran 3 minutes 33 seconds in Sydney and defeated Jake Whiteman, the 2022 world champion. He had hit the Olympic qualifying standard twice. He had done everything asked of him. But when the Australian team was announced for Paris, Cameron Myers was not on it. He was left off the squad in favor of more experienced runners. He was a teenager who had cleared every bar, and they still said no. Instead of Paris, Myers went to the World Under-20 Championships in Lima, Peru. He won silver, losing the gold by 0.09 seconds, 0.09 of a second. He came back to Australia with something to prove, and what he built from that moment forward is one of the most stunning athletic rises the sport has ever seen. Keep that in mind, because everything that comes next starts there. On January 17, 2026, Myers ran 3 minutes 49.81 seconds for the mile in Seattle. That is the fastest mile ever run in the month of January in history. Not just by a teenager, by anyone, ever. 1 week later in Boston, he ran 7 minutes 27 seconds for the 3,000 meters indoors. That made him only the 4th athlete under 20 years old in history to break 7 minutes 28 seconds for that distance. Here is where the numbers become hard to believe. Only 3 people in history have ever broken 3 minutes 50 seconds for the indoor mile, and 7 minutes 30 seconds for the indoor 3,000. Those 3 people are Cameron Myers, Yared Nuguse, and George Mills. Myers did both of those things in the same week. The outdoor season had not even started yet. On February 1st, Myers walked into the Wanamaker Mile in New York, one of the most prestigious indoor mile races in the world, and won it. His time was 3 minutes 47 seconds. He beat Yared Nuguse, the current indoor mile world record holder, a professional athlete in the prime of his career. Myers became only the 21st person in history to break 3 minutes 50 seconds for the indoor mile. He was 19 years old. He had been cut from the Olympics 6 months earlier. On March 29, 2026, at the Maury plant meet in Melbourne, Myers ran 3 minutes 30 seconds and 42 hundredths. That broke the all-comers record for 1,500 meters on Australian soil. A record held by Hicham El Guerrouj, the world record holder in the 1,500 and the mile, considered by many to be the greatest middle-distance runner in history. Myers ran faster on Australian soil than El Guerrouj ever had. That was already the fastest 1,500 meters run anywhere in the world in 2026, indoors or outdoors. Before the Australian Championships even happened, Myers had already rewritten history. Then, 11 days later, he ran even faster. The athletics world keeps bringing up Jakob Ingebrigtsen, the Norwegian who won Olympic gold in the 1,500 at Tokyo and gold in the 5,000 at Paris. Ingebrigtsen was the benchmark for teenage distance running for years. But here is what people are starting to say quietly. Myers broke Jakob's world record for 16-year-olds in the mile. He set under 18 world bests that Ingebrigtsen never reached. He defeated senior world champions as a teenager in open competition. And now at 19, he is running times that put him in a completely different category from his peers. His age group progression is not tracking Ingebrigtsen's path. It is ahead of it. On April 10, 2026, at the Australian Championships in Sydney, Myers ran 3 minutes 29 seconds and 85 hundredths for the 1,500 meters. First ever sub-3:30 on Australian soil. The only man in history to lead a 1,500 meters gun to tape faster than that was Timothy Cheruiyot, who ran 3:29.26 at the 2019 World Championship final. Myers did it at a domestic national meet in April, 4 months before his peak. Ollie Hall, the reigning Commonwealth Games champion and one of Australia's best senior runners, finished second in 3 minutes 32 seconds. Adam Spencer, the world indoor bronze medalist, finished third in 3 minutes 34 seconds. Myers beat both of them by a margin that, in a sport decided by hundredths, felt like a different sport entirely. The very next night, Myers came back for the 5,000 meters. Seth O'Donnell, a brave frontrunner who pushes brutal pace from the opening bell, did exactly that. He went hard early, built a lead, and sat on it. With 500 meters to go, O'Donnell pushed again and got within range of Myers.
Picture this. Lane 1, flooded. A Category 7 hurricane dumping water on the track. The 2025 World Championships in Tokyo. And a man who hasn't run sub-44 seconds in the open 400 since 2017 picks up a baton 10 meters behind the field. What happens next genuinely broke the internet. But to understand why that moment hit so differently, you have to go back to where this whole story started. August 14th, 2016, Rio de Janeiro. The Olympic 400-meter final. Every camera, every fan, every expert was locked onto the middle lanes. Nobody was watching lane 8. Nobody except Wade van Niekerk. When the gun fired, he ran the first 200 meters faster than any human being had ever run in a 400-meter race. The crowd didn't even know what they were watching. He crossed the line and dropped to one knee. The clock read 43.03 seconds. Michael Johnson's world record, set in 1999, stood for 17 years. Gone. Usain Bolt sprinted across the stadium just to find Wade and congratulate him personally. Johnson himself, working as a BBC commentator that night, said on air, "From lane 8, a world record. I have never seen anything from 200 to 400 like that." That was the moment the world learned the name Wade van Niekerk. And it wasn't just the 400. He became the only human in history to run sub-10 in the 100, sub-20 in the 200, and sub-44 in the 400. Not Usain Bolt, not Michael Johnson. Nobody. He backed up the Rio record with back-to-back world titles in 2015 and 2017. By October 2017, he had just gotten married to his wife Chesney. Adidas money, global fame, life was perfect. Then came the single worst decision of his career. October 7th, 2017, a celebrity touch rugby match at Newlands Stadium in Cape Town. His cousin Cheslin Kolb, the famous rugby player, was involved. Wade used to play rugby as a kid. He thought it would be fun. One wrong plant of his foot, one twist of his knee. He walked off the field not even knowing the damage was done. The scans came back, and the news was devastating. Completely torn ACL, medial and lateral meniscus tears. For a 400-meter sprinter whose entire race depends on explosive power and fluid mechanics, this wasn't just an injury, it was a near-career-ending sentence. 2018 and 2019 were completely wiped off his results page. COVID took 2020. At the Tokyo 2021 Olympics, the man who owns the 400-meter world record couldn't even make the 400-meter final. That's how far he had fallen. The years that followed were painful to watch. 2022 World Championships in Eugene 5th place, 44.89. 2023 World Championships in Budapest 7th place, 44.11. Then at the Paris 2024 Olympics, he made a decision that shocked everyone. He skipped the 400 altogether and ran the 200. He was eliminated in the semifinals. Something had to change. And in early 2025, something did. He ended his training stint with Lance Brauman in Claremont, Florida, where he had trained alongside 100-meter Olympic champion Noah Lyles and returned home to South Africa. Back to Bloemfontein, back to the same tracks where he first became a world champion. And instead of hiring another elite international coach, he handed training duties to his stepfather Steven Schwartz. His agent Pete Van Zyl told the world, "Wade is officially back in South Africa. Steven is overseeing his training, and all the injuries and setbacks are now behind him." His wife Chesney was also expecting their second child. This wasn't just a training relocation. This was a complete reset of identity. Now, back to Tokyo. 2025 World Championships. Final day, men's 4x400-meter relay. The rain was the kind that analysts compared to the conditions oblique Seville raced in at Lausanne. Brutal, relentless, and slowing everyone down. When South Africa received the baton for the third leg, they were sitting in third place, roughly 10 meters behind. The United States had already posted splits of 44.6 and 44.22 through Vernon Norwood and Jaori Patterson. Botswana, with 400-meter gold medalist Kevin Akipi anchoring, was in second. Everyone expected Akipi, who had run 43.5 in the Open 400, to clock the fastest split of the day. Nobody was thinking about Wade. Wade took the baton in lane 1, the same lane where water was visibly kicking up with every stride athletes took, and he ran 43.26 seconds. The fastest relay split of the entire race by 0.67 seconds. Faster than the gold medalist team, faster than anyone on that track. By the end of his leg, he had nearly pulled completely, even with Botswana. South Africa finished third. Botswana won gold in 257.76, with Akipi of 44.14. The United States and South Africa both finished at 257.83. And the conversation the next day wasn't about the gold medal. It was about what Wade did in lane 1 in a flood. Then came February 2026. Free State Athletic Stadium, Bloemfontein, season opener. He ran the 100 meters in 10.13, winning comfortably. Then he ran the 200 meters in 20.32. Noah Lyles just did something nobody saw coming. Not another race announcement. Not a sponsorship deal. He looked straight at the camera and told every athlete on the planet, in any sport, to come race him. And the way he said it, there was zero doubt he meant it. This is the man who won Olympic gold in the 100 meters at Paris 2024 by 0.0005 seconds. The most razor-thin finish in Olympic history. The man who ran the 200-meter final with COVID and still took bronze. When Noah Lyles speaks, you listen. But here is the thing that makes this announcement truly different. He did not just say, "Come race me." He said 2026 is officially a fan's year for track and field. His exact words were, "I've decided to take this year and say this is a fan's year in our sport." That one sentence is the starting gun for something the sport has never seen before. And once you understand what he is actually planning, you will realize this is bigger than any single race or world record. Let us go back for a second, because context matters here. Noah Lyles had a rough indoor season. He withdrew from the 300-meter opener in Gainesville, Florida, without explanation. Then at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix in Boston, his own training partner Jerem Richards beat him by 1/100th of a second 32.14 to 32.15. Then at the USATF Indoor Championships in Staten Island, he finished third in the 60-meter final running, 6.51 seconds. Jordan Anthony won it in 6:45. Trayvon Bromell got second at 6:47. Noah Lyles, the Olympic champion, came third. People started talking. People started questioning. Then he dropped everything. Instead of going quiet, instead of hiding from the public, Lyles came out swinging. At a press event in Boston in January, he put out an open challenge to every athlete on the planet. He said, "If you're an athlete out there and you've got an idea for a race, let me know. Reach out to me. Let's get it done." Then someone asked if that includes athletes from other sports. He did not hesitate for 1 second. He said, "It doesn't matter what sport you're in. If you want to get your butt kicked by the world's fastest man, I am happy to give it to you." That is not PR talk. That is a man who genuinely believes he is on a different level, and his numbers back that up completely. This man has 8 World Championship gold medals. His personal best in the 100 meters is 9.79 seconds. His personal best in the 200 meters is 19.31 seconds, the American record, and the third fastest time in history. He has broken 20 seconds in the 200 meters, a record 47 times, without wind assistance. No other sprinter alive has done that. At Paris 2024, all 8 men in the 100-meter final ran under 10 seconds, the first time in history that ever happened. The race Lyles won was the fastest 100-meter final ever run. So when this man issues a challenge, it carries weight. Now here is what is really driving this whole thing. His fiancée, Jamaican sprinter Janelle Bramfield, had a conversation with him that completely shifted his mindset. She told him he is entering his peak years. He turns 29 in July. Her message was simple. Just because it is an off year does not mean you back off. Lyles admitted that hit him hard. He said, "I would be very mad at myself if I didn't go out there and give everything I had, no matter the year." And they are getting married on April 4th in Georgia with a glass tent reception, around 250 guests, and anime-inspired touches. 2 front-row seats will be left empty to honor Janelle's late mother Sandra and brother Christopher. Weeks after that wedding, Lyles flies to Tokyo to race. The race schedule for 2026 is built like a story. May 17th, at the Psycho Golden Grand Prix in Tokyo, at the National Stadium. Tokyo is personal for Lyles. That is where he won his first Olympic medal in 2021, a bronze in the 200 meters. The meet record there is 9.88 seconds, set by Fred Kerley in 2023. Then June 4th at the Rome Golden Gala, the Stadio Olimpico, his first outdoor race of the entire 2026 season. He said, "One of my favorite races ever was in Rome against Michael Norman. I'm hoping this time brings another one like that." Latil Tebogo, Kashane Thompson, and Oblique Seville, the man who took his 100-meter world title in Tokyo 2025, running 9.77, are all confirmed for Rome. Then June 28th, Paris Diamond League at the Stade de France, the exact stadium where he won Olympic gold. He has never lost a race at the Paris Diamond League. Never. Beyond the races, Lyles is chasing something historic in 2026. He currently holds 6 Diamond League titles, more than any athlete in Diamond League history, a fact Guinness World Records officially recognized. Nobody has ever won 7. He is going for 7 this year.